What is going on, everybody? Yeah, it is Pixel Partners here, and welcome back to the greatest journey to when we left off. We've gotten our verdict turned back around, and we're gonna summon in Madame Rosaique in this next session of court that we're back into.
We had a recess, and Sherlock gave us some advice.
Yeah, because apparently we're about to get knee-deep in the shit. So...
Ask you, prosecution and defense, have you fully prepared your cases?
The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready.
This trial was originally opened in response to an accident which occurred at the World's Fair. But now we find ourselves face to face with a criminal who was executed 10 years ago. I'm not sure anybody could have predicted the way this trial has gone.
Seems to be a common theme with the cases taken on by this attorney.
Yeah, it's kind of a way of life.
That's the Naruto way, man.
Yep.
Now then, the court would like to begin its inquiry into the wax figure presented by the defense. Lord Van Zieks,
My lord.
have you completed your preparations to summon Madame Rosaique to the stand?
Yes, without issue.
Why'd he shake his head then?
She's already waiting to be called to the stand.
In that case, please call her in.
As you wish. Bailiff, escort Madame Rosaique to the stand.
Ooh.
This is it. Next stage of the trial. If Drebber is the true culprit, then Dr. Sith has to be his accomplice.
And it's the wax figure which connects the two of them.
The professor's wax figure. Serial killer long since executed. That wax figure is the one thing connecting these two otherwise unrelated individuals. No matter how frail that link may be, I have to keep pursuing it. Oh, hi. Oh, that's Sherlock. Okay.
Yeah.
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Connaught Rosaique. I am but a simple wax sculptor. I am the matron of the Wax Museum, Madame Rosaique's. It is almost time to unveil my newest exhibit, so forgive me for working while I'm here.
That's me!
He's just a guy. That's me! That's my face!
Mr. Holmes finally had a mold taken of his face, huh?
Apparently. Watching this leaves me feeling somewhat upset.
A few days ago, a certain wax figure was stolen from your wax museum. Is this correct?
It is. Initially, I thought of it as a kidnapping.
The wax figure being kidnapped, you say?
Yes, there was a demand for a ransom after all. Though from what I heard in the waiting lobby, it wasn't money the kidnapper was truly after. It was really stolen to be used as a body double for a murder victim or something like that.
Be aware that it is merely the defense's claim. This is the victim of the case, Mr. Lyda Menigan.
I know of him. His figure faithfully guards my villain's corner display. Just one glance tells me that this figure's body shape is nothing like that of Mr. Menigan's.
Oh, but maybe their faces look strikingly similar.
Are you saying you wish to see the professor's face? I have the key right here, but I'm afraid I'm forbidden from ever opening the mask.
But I was gonna say, she mentioned the key already. I was like, maybe like because she was always like, you know, her family's secret was, you know, fresh off the grave, sculpt that shit, you know,
yeah,
with the body, and so maybe it was like, if you want to do this, you gotta lock that away forever. You understand that? And so by the end of this, we'll have a reason to open that up and unveil the chaos. So ridiculous.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know exactly what lies beneath that mask, but I can say right now that it absolutely cannot be the face of the professor.
I must agree. That serial killer's identity was never once disclosed to the public.
The trial for that monster took place in secrecy under the gaze of Her Majesty the Queen, who was then promptly executed. This was a government secret. It would be impossible for the trivial showwoman to get her hands on such knowledge.
It appears you are unaware of the Rosaique family creed.
What creed?
One of the Rosaique line breathes life. One of the Rosaique line breathes life. Okay, yeah. Breathes life into her work by taking molds from the real thing. We take a wax impression of the face directly from the person themselves. That is our creed. There is a well-known story surrounding the Rosique Wax Figures. During the French Revolution, a Rosaique made a wax figure of a queen after she was executed. You're very well informed. That was roughly 100 years ago. Apparently, the mold was taken straight from the queen's decapitated head.
Oh, not this again.
Yes, please. Yes, even now you can find her displayed in my chamber of horrors. We do anything we must to take the molds from the actual person's face.
That's just one terrifying dedication to your craft.
After all, there is no better way to make the figures come alive. That is the tradition of our craft, which has been passed down to each generation of my family.
Then underneath that mask is...
The face under there was taken directly from the professor.
Impossible. That cannot be.
The professor sunk all of Britain into a quagmire of fear. Thanks to that, the special exhibit remains largely popular to this day. Please do pay us a visit one day and see the murderer rising from the grave for yourself.
It seems you will need to hear further testimony from this witness if she just plugged her business.
Yeah.
While testifying. Tell us about that frightening wax figure and its connection to yourself.
Understood, my lord.
As I say, we need proof that shows that she actually was able to mold from the professor. So...
The exhibit in my Chamber of Horrors was based on the rumors that shook the world. Taking a mold of the face directly from the corpse using wax is the Rosique family creed. For the gravekeeper's cooperation, I took the mold just before the killer's burial. I hid myself in the graveyard awaiting a signal. However, I ran into some complications.
Oh dear.
Dawn was fast approaching, and I began to fear that I would be caught.
Oh dear, she did it in secret. Oh god.
The gravekeeper assisted you?
He did. We always get molds from the real body, no matter what it takes. As long as I have permission, and as long as I do it carefully, then what's the issue?
Then you're saying you really saw it? You saw that murderer's face up close?
Of course. Worry not, as I know this is a discreet matter, but... A wax figure isn't a Rosaique if it isn't taken from the real thing. That's all.
Unbelievable.
I've paid a visit to Madame Rosaique's special exhibits myself. Seeing a serial killer pop right out of the grave is certainly a terrifying sight.
The rumor shook London to its core all those years ago. I brought with me a newspaper article from that time.
Fancy. That's terrifying.
Oh. The scene in the special exhibit was modeled based on the details in the article. This is the most accurate article out there, based on testimony from the witness himself.
And we know who that witness was.
Yep.
A dead man came back to life. What a foolish rumor.
You'll find that it's the foolish rumors that the masses love most. We simply made that scene as if it were the real thing.
That wax figure was abducted a few days before the incident, correct?
Indeed, and of all our figures, it was the professor's that was taken.
Really is intriguing. Now, defense, begin your cross-examination.
This wax figure connects both Drebber and Dr. Sith. There must be something here that we're still not seeing. I have to find whatever that is and reveal it before the court. I'll prove once and for all that Drebber and Dr. Sith worked together to commit this crime.
Bum bum bum! She's still so pretty. It's a problem.
It's great. I love it. Okay, I love her. Okay,
same.
The world.
I called her first. She's mine. Well, I am simping for Rosaique, not you.
What rumors are you referring to?
Every single citizen of London knew of it at the time.
Oh, I think I know what you mean.
Of course, that's it.
She's right.
It was the revived convict. I recreated that event in the Chamber of Horrors. The rumor made its way all across London, spread with fearful, hushed voices.
Okay.
On the night of the execution in the cemetery behind the prison, the professor knocked down his headstone and crawled his way out to the surface. The man who witnessed it tried to scream, but before he could, he heard a gunshot in the air behind him. The bullet struck the revived killer in the chest and he died anew. This time, the man managed to scream as he ran for his life.
Well, that's a new twist to it.
Yeah.
The killer came back to life?
There was a gunshot behind him? But who fired the shot? That question remains unanswered to this day. At the end of the day, though, it was merely a rumor, a ghost story. But the London masses lap up terrifying rumors like these. That's the only reason it was mentioned in the newspapers.
Just a rumor, huh? Really does look exactly like the display in the Chamber of Horrors. Just less horrifying.
That's because I used that picture as a reference. You couldn't open up a newspaper without being inundated with stories about this. Might I say something? Why, of course, mademoiselle. Rumors don't necessarily equate to lies. There is some hint of truth to them, at least that's what I have come to learn. You Far Easterners certainly are sharp at times. When he was executed, did the professor really die? It's not possible for a dead man to come back to life.
Huh?
I was there at Rogate Cemetery 10 years ago. The convict known as the professor was hung. Right after that, they made a wax mold of his head right before the burial. I swear that this is the honest truth. That man was assuredly dead.
Is that so?
It seems the convict most certainly died during his execution that day.
Okay, wasn't expecting that much
Taking the mold
information
of
from
the
that
face
person.
directly from the corpse using wax is the Rosaique family creed. Yeah.
Have you done that with every single wax figure in the museum?
Yes, those both dead and alive aid us in order to make it possible. I've received many letters from those awful criminals down at the prison recently.
What kind of letters?
When I'm executed, I'd like to be made into a wax figure.
Oh, wow.
Madame Rosaique has made quite a name for itself. Becoming a wax figure is almost a sign of status among criminals these days.
Something sounds wrong about this.
Yeah. But of course we have a certain serial killer to thank for our meteoric rise in reputation. That is none other than the professor, standing proudly in our special exhibit.
And you claim that you took the face mold from the man himself as well.
There are no exceptions to the Rosaique creed.
Alright, well, the grave years of cooperation. This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, that's illegal. Seems as though the ends justify the means when it comes to the showwoman's income.
It's not about the money. These mysterious killers have made their mark on London's history. They must be recorded. I believe this is the duty of the Rosaique family.
But he was proven guilty in a secret trial and he was executed straight after. Nobody would know who he really was, right?
The true face of that killer is hidden beneath the iron mask.
It's impossible. That man's identity is a state secret.
I am aware. Now that this is known, I assume this will be the end of the special exhibit.
Naturally, one wrong move could end your career as a showwoman.
That may be a rather fitting epitaph for the Rosaique family.
So 10 years ago on the night of the execution, you took the mold from the killer's corpse.
Correct.
How old is she again?
She's 20-something.
But, I want people. I can't do people right now. Damn it! I have to wait until afterwards. Okay, but I want because I can't switch it.
Yeah, she's 20-something.
Okay. Complications. What kind of complications exactly?
Well, I intended to use my wax to take the shape of his face. But when I removed the mask, his jaw opened up, making things rather difficult.
Huh?
He was dead, after all. Naturally, with no strength in his muscles, I couldn't quite get his jaw to stay shut. I could have done without that mental image. Usually I have an assistant to help me with things like that. But I was alone that night, so it took far more time than I originally intended.
You didn't mean to take so long then.
When we take the mold from the face of the corpse,
Want a corpse yet?
we must first wait until 3 hours after death.
That's a very specific amount of time. Is there a reason for that?
That's how long it takes for rigor mortis to set in.
Rigor Mortis.
It's a phenomenon that occurs in bodies of those who have just died. Typically 3 hours after death, the muscles in the body start to stiffen. Then after 10 hours have passed, the whole body will be completely stiff. Following that, the muscles soften and return to their original state. The progression of rigor mortis allows coroners to deduce the approximate time of death. It's based.
Oh. Thanks for the explanation, but that's kind of gross.
It really is. Rigor mortis begins after 3 hours, starting with the jaw.
I see. That's why you wait 3 hours.
If I didn't, the jaw would open up, making my job much more difficult.
Okay, I think we get it. I wonder about Madame Rosique's testimony. That does sound important.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why. Hey, so about the whole rigor mortis thing. Could you add that to your testimony? It may be important.
Yes, of course. I don't mind. In a way, one might say that Madame Rosique's testimony has caused the courtroom to stiffen.
It's time and place, Susato.
I love her.
Witness, please amend your testimony.
Very well, my lord.
Okay.
Because she just said she was having trouble with the jaw.
Exactly, it was going open and...
Yeah.
Because we know the time of death was midnight, so we need to know when she... Because it was over here. This, and you know what? There's the article. Okay, there's nothing on the, Mr.
Drebber's dreadful
encounter.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this? Was the ball music to blame for the great okay, that's not
What was
important.
that? The Great Stink?
Wait,
Is that what that says?
The great stink.
Oh.
Parliament is to finally address the foul issue. I can actually read all. Oh my God, you can read all of this on this one. Wow, I went to town on this one.
Yeah, they did.
Maybe we'll do that some other time.
Yeah.
Mad Sheep Rampage.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Charles Darwin to receive Copley Medal. Fancy. Okay.
Mad Sheep Rampage.
I want to read that one, but that one's partly blocked off. Okay. I'm gonna press this one quick, so that Ooh. Dawn was fast approaching, which means that's definitely longer than 3 hours from midnight.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still gonna press this because we may have to go forward to that one. Remember, Assessment Corpus started to get stiff and rigid, right?
Rigid?
It begins 3 hours after death, starting with the jaw.
I don't know why you said that so fast.
I don't know either.
Because you haven't said that yet. Correct. Of course, the timing can differ based on their season or other circumstances.
Are all wax figure sculptors aware of this?
This is elementary forensics.
Considering I have no knowledge of forensics, all I can really do is trust her on that.
Why not have my father teach you the basics sometime?
Dead bodies are scary. I'll leave that to you.
Oh, I don't find it all that pleasant either, you know, but it's still important knowledge.
Just so you get to do the dirty work for me from now on. Dawn's fast approaching period, that would be called. Okay. It was almost time? Around what time was it then?
Not entirely sure, but when I left the graveyard with my wax box, the morning sun was already peeking out.
The execution was on the 17th of June, the day of the year in which the sun rises earliest.
Indeed, on that day the sun begins to rise just after 4:40 a.m.
Wow, it's really early.
Anyway, I had little time. I finished in about 30 minutes. I had to take the mold and then bury the body before the night ended. If I were found by someone, it would be all over for me. I was in a panic.
Your sculpting of Mr. Holmes' head is getting more and more violent.
It is.
That must take impressive dedication to be willing to go to such great lengths.
I wonder about Madame Rosique's testimony just now. That sounds important.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that exact timing.
There's a lot of time
Get back
math
to your
going
testimony.
on.
Might be important.
Yes, of course. I don't mind. I must say, a 4 a.m. sunrise in Japan would be unbelievable.
I agree, but how about we focus on the topic at hand?
Who's the one with ADD now, Susan?
Witness, please amend your testimony.
Yes, my lord.
It's like, which one will we... Unless we get new information from
30
this.
minutes before dawn, I took the mold and buried him before making haste to leave.
Like, I'm not sure which one to go against. When,
Yeah.
When someone finds you as soon as the sun rose.
I gave the gravekeeper some money to keep his mouth shut. But when the sun rises, wardens from the prison begin their patrol.
Couldn't you have just bribed the wardens too?
I had already paid a fair sum to the gravekeeper. I would go bankrupt if I tried to silence everyone who walked by.
The sun rose at 4:40 a.m. on that day. In other words, the witness started taking the mold of the face at around 4 a.m.
Yes, there's no doubt that I received contact from the gravekeeper around that time.
So that's where her testimony ends.
But rigor mortis hadn't set in yet. It was 4 hours later.
Exactly.
What do you think, Naruhodo?
For some reason, Dr. Sith worked with Drebber to make his plan succeed. In that case, the serial killer that connects them, the professor, his wax figure must be hiding some kind of lead.
We have to find that lead through this cross-examination. If we don't, I'm sure the jurors are ready to declare our client guilty.
I know, but I think Lord Van Zieks is even more interested in that lead than us. He seems really on edge right now.
Gee, I wonder why. I mean, Lord Van Zieks?
It's no surprise, given how he has personal investment in the case about the professor.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just don't know. Let's see. Was that rigor mortis had yet to set in. It's like, but... Maybe I'll press this again with new information and see if that brings me anything new. Rigor mortis. That's when it goes start to get rigid. I mean, 3 hours of death. Of course, our all experience goes with where this. I'm Mary. Knowledge. Yeah, father teach you. Dead body is scary. Leave that to you. Fuck. Oh my god, I don't know which one to put it towards. Because we know what we need to do, but.
Yeah.
The reason was that rigor mortis has it said if there's before dawn. I took a long break. Oh, I mean that one gives like the time frame, which is what speaks to me, but it doesn't have anything about the rigor mortis.
Also, was this the last one?
This is the last one.
Oh.
This is the Thursday before dawn. We took leave. That's the one that gives the time, essentially.
Yeah.
But that's the one that talks about the actual rigor mortis. So I'm not sure. I really don't know which one to put it towards. Because that's the one that talks about 12 a.m. What do you think?
Probably go with the rigor mortis one.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go with this one. Please. Please, game. Please, game. Yes, thank God.
Aha!
Okay.
I'm smart.
Madame Rosaique, I have here an autopsy report from 10 years ago. This record verifies the professor's death after his execution.
Is there a problem with it?
There's something interesting written here. Something which contradicts your testimony.
What?
What are you getting at, Japanese boy? You took a mold of the professor's face shortly before dawn. At that time, rigor mortis had yet to set in. As we've justified, isn't it, Madame Rosaique?
It is. Rigor mortis sets in around 2 or 3 hours after death, starting with the jaw. But given how loose his jaw was, I suspect that it couldn't have been that long since his death.
And yet, here we have Dr. Sith's autopsy report. This is what it says. Death confirmed 17th of June, 12 a.m. Prisoner was executed by hanging. What?
Oh, boy.
If he really died at midnight, then rigor mortis should have already started to set in.
Yes, indeed. His jaw should have been rock solid.
But it wasn't. But that means there's an error in this record.
Oh boy.
Is it unthinkable for the coroner to have mistaken the time of death? In that case, there's only one other possibility. It means the execution was not carried out. What? That hair, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Order, what nonsense! In saying that, not only are you accusing Dr. Ziz, the author of this report, you're also accusing Berkeley Prison, the execution site, of knowingly breaking the law.
That's absurd. Huh? Okay.
It was never like this in my
You seem to be forgetting one very important fact. What would that be? The professor undoubtedly died that night.
Exactly. There's no doubt about it. After all, I was struggling to keep his gaping jaw closed with my own 2 hands.
Yes, the professor died that night. However, who's to say he died via execution? But what the devil? You're being ridiculous. In that case, what do you suggest happened that night? It may be hard to believe, but this could be the connection I need. The connection between Dr. Sith, the professor, and that person. I have evidence showing exactly what happened that night. I do?
In that case, the court orders the defense to present evidence. Shows evidence of what happened on the night of the execution.
The camera.
Yes, that
With
was
the
my
blood.
thought. The blood and potentially a picture from that night too.
Maybe.
So, please?
What is this exactly?
This doesn't seem to be it, actually.
No.
Rather than what happened on the night of the execution, I'm more concerned about what is going on in the courtroom at this very moment. Huh?
If you
Okay, so
intend to
it's not
throw
the
random
camera.
items at us, may you find that tonight will end up being the night of your own execution.
Please no. It wasn't supposed to be random, though.
Don't worry, Naruhodo. I won't let them execute you. I'll use my Susanoo shield.
That sounds worse.
In that case, the court orders the defense to present evidence
Please don't die for me.
showing what happened on the night of the execution.
10-year-old article? Are we going to present the article? Or are we just going to say that's what happened?
I guess.
Because we don't really have anything else that ties to 10 years
No.
ago. Because that World's Fair article is all modern time. That's modern. It has nothing to do with that. That's
Yeah, all that's
modern.
the balloon
That's
stuff.
modern. That's old. Well, that's
Oldish.
semi-modern. Modern, oldie. Old but irrelevant.
I guess it's
irrelevant.
the article, yeah.
All I can think of.
Because remember the whole gunshot thing?
Yeah. Here we go. The events of that night are recorded right here in the newspaper article. Man rises from the grave. What do you think of that? You're sincerely claiming that this prisoner crawled out of his own grave. If what this article says is true, the professor came back to life before being killed again. Preposterous, that is nothing more than gossip spread by worthless tabloids. You sure about that? What? This article is based on the testimony of an eyewitness.
An eyewitness?
You're speaking about the young man who snuck into the graveyard, aren't you?
This eyewitness of yours was clearly making it all up.
And even if this eyewitness exists, we have no way of knowing who they are.
Yes, we do. The defense knows exactly who it is. What utter nonsense.
No.
Defense, do you mean to say that you can tell us who this person is?
Yeah.
You know who witnessed this fantastical event?
Yeah. I do, my lord. I've seen this eyewitness with my own eyes.
We've all talked to him.
Yeah.
In that case, defense, tell us. Who bore witness to this unbelievable sight 10 years ago?
That would be 26. She took them all when she was 16.
Yeah.
Slightly disturbing. Anyways, Enoch Drebber. It's the man of the hour.
He was
That
25
person's
back
none other
then.
than Enoch Drebber. Drebber?
Uh-huh.
You're talking about the previous witness?
Inside Madame Rosique's Chamber of Horrors, there is a marvelous recreation of that event of 10 years ago. In the dead of night, a prisoner came back to life, and in that recreation, stands the wax figure of the man who witnessed that event. And that wax figure is Enoch Drebber from 10 years ago.
Yep. Game?
Yeah, there we go.
God, her hair's so long.
I was going to say, and the crowd's gone silent, but they've gone wild.
Yeah.
Order, order! I will have order! What the dickens?
Charles? Are you saying that Enoch Drebber was at Rogate Cemetery?
Excuse me, but is this Drebber fellow really that important?
Yeah. Alright, Madame Rosaique wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yes, he is, and his name should be of great significance to you as well, madam.
Me? Why?
Because the very person who kidnapped the professor's wax figure the other day was him, Enoch Drebber.
What? Oh my! So, he was the thief all along?
Madam Rosaique, do you mean to tell us that you are familiar with the name Enoch Drebber? Was he the gravekeeper?
Yes, indeed I am. Although it has been such a long time.
Huh?
What?
What?
I ask that you tell us everything you know.
But of course. Oh boy.
Oh, it's about to
This
get
is getting
wild.
juicy. 10 years ago, a young man stumbled across a terrifying scene at a graveyard. The newspapers reported on that incident for days on end. However, they only ever referred to that witness as a young man. None of them mentioned him by name. Except for one.
Load game, please. Thank you.
It was the Daily Circus. The article I gave you is also from that newspaper.
His name is in this article?
Oh, yes, there it is. The university student who experienced this shocking event is Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Yeah, we did just read that and then
Yeah.
forget already. Whoops.
I didn't forget.
I forgot.
Well, of course you did.
A disciple of science at the University of London and a resident of its student halls.
We already knew he was the witness, though, so.
Yeah.
You're right.
We even zoomed in at Mr.
Yeah.
Drebber's, yeah.
And then the wild goats and stuff, whatever's going on with that or whatever it was.
Sheep, you mean?
Sheep. Yeah, that one.
Wow, Evan.
Brain.
This
good
is
job.
why I'm the short-term memory person.
Yeah.
After reading that article, I went to meet with him. The prisoner rose from the grave, and that young man witnessed it. Whether it was true or not, it was a fitting scene for the Chamber of Horrors.
Did you meet with Drebber in order to sculpt his wax figure?
Yes, at the time he was a poor student studying science at the University of London. I paid him £5 to sculpt a wax figure of him. And that wax figure is currently in the Chamber of Horrors where I have recreated the scene.
Well then. Pan to us, or Van Zeeks, and then pan to us, and then pan to Charlotte. Oh, good job.
Clap, clap, clap.
Woo, way to go, Naruto. You've done it. 10 years ago, a young man told a fascinating story to the world. He claimed that he witnessed a criminal who should have been executed come back to life. The rumors spread through London like a wildfire, but soon burnt out just as quickly. And now, 10 years later, that same young man stole a criminal's wax figure and used it for nefarious purposes. Most likely he used it as a body double for the victim. And yet the wax figure bears absolutely no resemblance to the victim. So why would he do that? And 3 days ago, Dr. Sith was the one in charge of the victim's autopsy. She should have known at a glance that she was dealing with a wax figure. However, she submitted the victim's autopsy report as it is now. But for what reason? Because the wax figure was of the professor? The prisoner that she confirmed dead, was actually alive. And Drebber witnessed the moment in which said prisoner came back to life. That was a secret that Dr. Sith had to keep under wraps no matter what. Which is exactly why Drebber used that figure as a body double.
Oh.
My lord, please summon Dr. Sith to the stand immediately. The defense believes we need to look into the relationship between these two. Oh my god.
Ooh, this music.
But according to the request submitted by the prosecutor's office, Dr. Sith must not be summoned as a witness in this trial.
Earlier, Dr. Sith said, Van Zeeks will not summon me as a witness in today's trial. Lord Chief Justice Vortex has forbidden it.
He's done what?
The professor killings are protected by a seal that must never be broken. I suggest you give up on any silly notions of summoning me.
Oh, we gonna open that seal all right. We're gonna rip that bitch open like a hot pocket.
Hot Hot Pocket?
I don't know. Just what happened on the night of the execution 10 years ago?
Hot Pocket.
I'm sure the prosecutor Van Zeeks wants to know the answer to that more than anyone. The prosecution rescinds that request. Ah, fuck.
But this was submitted on behalf of the whole prosecutor's office, was it not?
It is the prosecutor in charge of the case who decides on the course of the trial should take. And that would be me. Prosecutor Van Zeeks.
Damn.
I call for both Enoch Drebber and Dr. Sith to be summoned to the court.
Damn. Ooh, Vortex ain't gonna be happy about that.
My boy's fighting the authority.
Yeah, he is. He wants truth.
Yeah.
Order. The court acknowledges your request. Bailiff, send a subpoena to the forensics task force immediately. Bring Dr. Sith to the stand.
Enoch Drebber and Dr. Sith. This crime would have been impossible unless they were working together. Just one more step. This time the entire truth will be brought to light. And this going to be brought to light next time.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, I'm sure they're... Oh, hey, you can be up here too. Oh boy. Oh man. Thank you for your prompt arrival, Dr. Sith. But now you have to wait 23 and a half hours until we can get to the bottom of this.
Dude.
I do apologize.
Dude, you... Van Zeeks, buddy, you...
You're putting yourself on thin ice, sir.
You're already in hot water.
He's in boiling water at the moment.
But
it's about to turn into freaking scalding
you can
lava.
tell he doesn't give a fuck. He just wants answers.
He just wants revenge.
Ooh.
I love it. You'll love to see it.
This character development, I can't.
We live for it.
We do, but at the same time, I can't afford to simp for more characters. And yet here we are.
Whoops.